At the point, the young man I was interviewing was slapped. At that point, instantly, we knew that something dangerous had happened and that something could immediately go wrong. My cameraman and I had to quickly seek safety because we ran back straight into the crowd of protesters. And to be honest with you, this is one moment we cannot easily forget in a hurry. Hi, my name is Henry Igwebike, broadcast journalist with Enterprise Television. My hashtag and bad governance story. I was sent to cover the protest. The second day of protest it was, just like every other day, the day before, we went and started off from the Lagos State House of Assembly, and protesters, of course, were there, chanting slogans, songs, and of course, engaging with the police force in one or two discussions here and there. And we thought we had seen it all. But until we were told there was much more to come, and we should make our way to Ojota. And I and my crew, we proceeded and found ourselves in Ojota. And getting to Ojota, the population was far more than what we had seen at Alausa. Of course, there were two pockets of protesters, one at the beginning of Ojota coming to K2, and the other was just at the extreme end. And all we did was ensure that the message was passed. We had engaged protesters to have their say and engage them on what their grievances were. As we were having our discussion, and it was a very fruitful reportage, of course, we decided to maybe have our parting shot with the last protester who actually wanted to speak to us. And we had no choice but to engage him. And at that point, we had him, say what he wanted to say. And of course, like every other protester that spoke to us, he was very engaging and trying to pass across his points on the ineptitude of the government of the day. I didn't know what was happening. I was just doing my job as much as I wanted to do. At the very end of our conversation with the last protester that spoke to us, just right there, abruptly, someone behind the protester.
There we have it.
In fact, the sound of the slap on this young man's face was so much that I felt it so hard. Right there on his face. It happened so sudden that I couldn't, at that point I was asking myself what was happening, because this young man had just finished speaking to me and of course spoke so intelligently. I wondered what was the problem.
Because I know that all these things are their handworks. And even with millions of them, they cannot stop me from exercising my civil rights. I'm coming back here tomorrow, let them come with their squad. If they kill me tomorrow, millions of me is out there fighting for the freedom of this country.
And right there, the Nigerian police force, the men of the Nigerian police force were there staring at everything that was happening. Immediately, the thug assaulted the young man, and the young man fell right there on the floor. Blood was all over his face and all that, and the thug crossed the other end of the road. At that time, I was so very confused. I was wondering what was happening. And the next thing I think I did was ask my cameraman if he had gotten everything on camera. He said yes, but of course he told me that at some point he had to press the off button. And I asked why. He said there was another young man that told him that the same thugs were about to seize the camera. And I wondered why. Why? These people were busy saying what they felt was going to be good enough for our government, especially as it concerns doing what they were supposed to for Nigerians. So why would somebody want to end that? True assault was the question I asked. Of course, we sensed that the whole environment was becoming very toxic, and lots of other thugs were beginning to, to come around and wanted to do more harm to us. And we were advised to move right there into the crowd. But there was something very significant I noticed. While we went into the crowd for our safety, another young man, one amongst them, approached me when I asked the young man that was assaulted to come speak to us on what his experiences it was. One of the thugs that was amongst those that assaulted the young man approached me and asked me that he was equally a journalist. And I asked, so what's the problem? He told me that I shouldn't ask the young man that was assaulted what happened, because I need to hear the two sides of the story. I said, what two sides of the story are we talking about here? Right before me, it happened. He said, no, that as a journalist, I should hear the two sides of the story. Maybe I should go ask the thug why he assaulted the man. And of course, I was all confused. That was when I knew that it was a cahoot of thugs who actually wanted to, do damage to a very peaceful protest that was organized by Nigerian youths, wanting and demanding for end to bad governance, of course, as administrated by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, the hashtag end bad governance is still on. We do not know when that would end. But of course, as members of the media ecosystem, it is our duty to keep bringing you up to date of everything that is happening with the protest.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.